Greetings BookTube, I'm Anders and this is my November wrap-up. I read a variety of fiction and non-fiction this month, so let's start with the non-fiction since some people have been doing non-fiction November. I read Let's Pretend This Never Happened and Furiously Happy, both by Jenny Lawson. These are both memoirs with stories from her life with mental illness. I really like the comedic way she writes. There's a lot of humor in all of the stories, even though some of them are pretty serious topics. I gave Furiously Happy 5 stars and I gave Let's Pretend This Never Happened 4.5 stars. Continuing with non-fiction, I read Nordiska Gudar by Johan Egelkrantz. The title translates to Nordic Gods, so it's about Norse mythology. It's kind of an encyclopedia about the most famous Norse gods and the events in Norse mythology. I have another book by the same author that's similar but about Scandinavian folklore. I really enjoy both of them. I gave this one 4 stars. Going into the fiction, I read 5 short stories from Epic, Legends of Fantasy, compiled by John Joseph Adams, starting with The Mad Apprentice by Trudy Canavan. It's a story set in the Black Magician universe, and it depicts the events that led to the decision to forbid magicians from learning black magic. I gave it 3.5 stars. Then I read Otherling by Juliet Marillier. It's a very odd short story about a bard and a dead twin. I don't know if it's set in one of the fantasy worlds that she writes other stories from. Maybe it is, and maybe that's why I found it odd, because I haven't read anything from that world before. I gave it 3 stars. And then I read Strife Lingers in Memory by Carrie Vaughan. It's about a prince who suffers from PTSD or some other kind of mental illness after being in a war. I gave it 4 stars. And then I read While the Gods Laugh by Michael Moorcock. It's a classic adventure fantasy featuring the infamous Elric and his black sword Stormbringer. I gave it 4 stars. And the last short story I read in this book was Homecoming by Robin Hobb. It's set in the realm of the Elderlings universe, and it tells the story about the first settlers in the Rain Wilds. I gave it 4.5 stars. And the only novels I read this month was The Song of the Lioness Quartet by Tamora Pierce. They are Alana, the First Adventure, In the Hand of the Goddess, The Woman Who Rides Like a Man, and Lioness Rampant. The series is mostly about Alana, who is a girl who pretends to be a boy so she can be trained as a knight instead of being trained as a noble lady, because she is more of a tomboy, and her twin brother Tom, who was supposed to be trained as a knight, would much rather study magic. So they switch places and everything works out well, right? I really enjoyed this series, even if I read the Swedish translation of it. I guess if I had read it in English, I might have liked it even more. Still, I liked it, and I can recommend it to anyone who wants to read a middle grade young adult fantasy series. I gave the series as a whole 4 stars. Those were all the things I read in November. Have you read any of them, and did you like them? Did you read anything else in November that you enjoyed? Did you participate in non-fiction November? Let me know in the comments. I guess that's all for now. Thanks for watching, and until next time.